Well, Jesse, I have to say that I have a mere 330,000 followers.
That's it?
That's it. It's like nothing. Zabihullah Mujahideen of the Taliban has 310,000 followers.
Geraldo.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am begging you. I am urging you. At Geraldo Rivera, don't let this Taliban thug beat me up. So, but I mean, it does smack of bias against Trump, particularly.
It does it. So Stalin, if this had been in the age of Twitter, would have, after killing 25 million people, would have been able to be on Twitter as long as he didn't violate Twitter's terms of service. Because that's what Twitter's saying. The atrocities have already been documented. Taliban cuts off women's fingers for using nail polish. They stone you to death. They kill homosexuals with cinder blocks. And then every Friday evening, they bring everybody into a soccer stadium and have the crowd watch people get amputated and beheaded. So Donald Trump called Don Lemon dumb, but he didn't cut people's legs off in front of a crowd.
Not that you know of.
Not that I don't know what goes on in Mar-a-Lago at night, Greg, but I'm saying that has not been documented.
It's worse than Watergate.
It is worse than Watergate.
I just got, if I can, my paltry Twitter.
Are you really in like a pissing contest with the Taliban's Twitter account?
It's amazing how we even made this segment about you.
Can I be your PR rep?
Yes, Kat.
Save that for the next block.
Yes.
Trust me on this.
But this is from General John F. Campbell.
I said save it for the next block. I'm running it. I'll go to you first, my friend.
This is big news.
Okay. Again, that's a tease.
That's a good.
In TV, we call that a tease.
So I think, in a sense, everybody should have. I don't think that big tech has the ability, particularly in the political sphere, Dagan, to determine who is appropriate and who is inappropriate.
Twitter has the ability, and they're getting away with it. Twitter has suffered nothing by banning Donald Trump. Their stock's actually up like 15 or 16% year to date. There are no consequences for Twitter. The bigger question is, if President Trump, former, decides to run for another term, how did they handle that? But in terms of the atrocities committed by the Taliban, if you try to show photos of things that the Taliban has actually done to women or the innocent on, say, Instagram, your post gets deleted. So I think that that's supposed to be news, but instead like an airbrush, like just airbrushed asses all over the place are okay, but not actual photos of the horribles of what these terrorists do.
I respect that they're an American company, but I also feel like you are an American company. And this company is going to want American protection from all the other regulations that are coming from Europe. And maybe not Twitter initially, but certainly that's happening with Google and YouTube and Facebook. And I think that you could rightly call it Taliban Twitter and get away with it, right? So you could like just figure out a way to do that. And the other social media companies, they have a way to maybe do that if they wanted to press their competitive advantage. But I think to Dagan's point, one, it hasn't hurt Twitter at all. Twitter has hurt the world. But two, I feel like the Taliban will probably get banned, if they're true to their word, by probably like Friday.
You do?
Well, because like in terms of atrocities,
well, let's see what
like
they do.
If they live up to their standards.
The Islamic State used Twitter as a recruiting tool for a very long time,
right?
Posting just horrific images all over it, and they only stopped allowing it when they got called out by the media.
Remember, Greg, it's either me or Zabihullah Mujahideen in terms of followers.
Definitely start following Geraldo. Also, when he leaves the building. We don't know what he's up to. I think Taliban's probably disappointed there's no beheading option. You can like and you can retweet.
Sure you want to retweet this beheading?
Yes, exactly. The Twitter is as consistent as Trey Gowdy's hair, right? You can rely, however, that their disciplinary procedures will only go one way. They mirror the people that they discipline the people the media hates, and they protect those that the media favors. The Washington Post, Mark Siebel, supports Taliban being on Twitter as opposed to Trump because they follow the rules. You can slaughter women, you can cut off their fingers, do what you want, you can force them to marry fighters, but as long as you follow the rules. Does that sound familiar? This is what the modern the modern progressive has become.
It's about words.
But it's also about following orders.
Their orders.
Their orders. It's not about law. It's about orders. And Americans will follow the law, but we don't really like orders that much. But the other thing too is it is kind of strange and hilarious that the Taliban is on Twitter, period. They want to return to the dark ages as long as they have their cell phones, their AR-15s, their good Wi-Fi. Maybe it's me, but it seems like cheating. They're not really living the life of Fred Flintstone, which is what they should be doing.
But I really have a secret, tiny shred of optimism that the Taliban does want to be part of the family of nations, that they do want international aid, that they will give reasonable access to the airport by the end of the month.
I wish I felt that way, but I feel like they only respond to people who will crush them. And that's why we didn't have that as an option when we were leaving. But they're like, they're going to work with China. Why? Because they know that China will crush them.
I wish them to China. I hope China embraces them.
Well, they embrace the Uyghurs. Right?
Well, it's related. Uyghurs, Muslim.
Exactly my point, yeah.